Yo, what's up, everyone? Let me fix my hat. It's kind of not proportional. That's okay. What's up, everyone? Hope that you're doing well. I just gotta make sure my phone is on silent and everything else. Don't want there to be any interference. Thought I'd go live today, just hang out. It's the weekend, and got a lot of great news to announce. If anybody stops by, I'd love to share. The last live stream did amazing. Simply no better way to put it. The last live stream, even though it was only 33 minutes long, let me rephrase. It didn't do well while I was actually live, but it got fed through the algorithm a great deal once the live ended. Because once you finish a live, the live doesn't just go away, it just stays on your channel kind of as a video. Well, it got lots of playbacks. So I think the most concurrent viewers I had during the stream that I did the other day was 2. However, it ended up gaining, I think, like another 90 plus views. So it's currently sitting at like 98 views between live views and playback views. For context, the most viewed live stream I've done, which was one of my first ones, but not the first one, I believe got around 106 views. So I was kind of caught off guard by that. I'm not sure what about that short live. That was my shortest live I've ever done. I'm not sure what about it that the algorithm decided to push it out for, but I'm not going to complain. I'll take every bit of it. I'm definitely going to be streaming longer today or tonight, depending on where you may be. It is currently 6:43 Eastern where I am. And there's really no shortage of topics to be covered. Anybody joining in, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. See that we have at least one viewer. That's good. Hope that you're all doing phenomenal. In my last stream, I mentioned how college is going really well. That continues to be the case. In fact, I actually finally got some grades back. I'm going to save that for when there's at least a couple people in here. But I will at some point before this stream and share what my grades are, because I got some grades back from my class. I was anxiously awaiting the results of the assignments that I had submitted. And now that I finally got them, I'm able to share them. My mental health is on a positive trajectory to a great degree, at a level that I thought was not possible just a few years ago. When I came out of my manic episode, as you know, I was immensely depressed and I was overwhelmed with racing thoughts, rumination. I was catastrophizing. It felt like my life as I knew it was over. I was so embarrassed and ashamed of the things I had said and done. And it all kind of culminated in me just being in this abyss of this depression, which lasted an extremely long time, multiple years, in fact. In the early stages of recovery, I thought my life was over. I thought that there was no hope. I felt like I would never work again. I felt like I would never go to school again. So to be at school again feels amazing. To have worked again feels amazing. I just feel like things are going in the right direction now. I'm stable. My medications are effective and working. To have my mental health in a positive place means the world to me. To have the stability that I have now means the world to me. It's not something I'll take for granted again, because it was an extreme situation during mania. The gravity of the situation cannot be understated. I was acting wildly out of character, engaging in a wide range of risky behaviors, taking actions that I would later come to regret. It's not a life that I miss. I know sometimes people will say they miss mania, and I can resonate with that to some extent. I resonate with some aspects of it. In ways, it felt like my life was a movie, but that movie went from being me being charismatic and likable to me being isolated and people distancing themselves from me. And it became a nightmare. It became a horror film. So it wasn't a movie that was going to have a positive ending. if the mania had continued. If the mania had continued to exacerbate, there's really no telling where things would have gone. But I'm of the belief that it would have been a perilous circumstance. Anybody joining in, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you a great deal. I'm not sure how many people will be on today. I mean, it is, I don't even, yeah, Saturday. Okay. I was questioning whether I was right about what day it was. I was about to say, I don't even know what day it is. That's ridiculous. But I do. I got my assignments done for this week. So I'm waiting for the assignments for the following week to be uploaded. They usually get uploaded Sunday evening or Monday morning. And I like pumping them out within the first few days of the week so that I get the rest of the week to myself and so that I can enjoy and really make the most of each moment that I have. I just started reading a new book just today. I'm only 36 pages in, but it's one that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, by Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. It's a dystopian novel, and it is one I've read before many years ago. And I'm only just starting to refresh my memory of what this world entails. And I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a fantastic book from what I can remember. And I am hooked already. I want to see where this story goes. I'm just 36 pages in, but it's grabbed my attention. I got interrupted while reading earlier, so I actually was a little bit upset about that, but it happens. Life happens, and it is what it is. I hope that you're all doing okay, whether it be work, school, managing your mental health. The latter is so important. It's of such critical importance. Never want to downplay the significance of our mental health and the impact it can have on our lives or on the lives of others. I think doing so is to neglect understanding how important mental health is. It's tantamount to foolishness. I mean, it's one thing if you don't know, but to know the gravity of it and still continue to make choices of not taking it seriously, I feel like it just sets people down a path, a negative spiral that can be very difficult to recover from. And I get it. I've been to that place where it feels like I want to give up and there's nothing I can do to recover. My life is over. I've been there. I just talked about some of those feelings I had. But I feel like it's still our responsibility to do the best we can with this life that we got. As far as we know, it's the only one. Not nobody knows for certain. Anybody who says otherwise is full of themselves. I mean, there's only one way we're going to find out, and hopefully that day is far away for all of us. I mentioned how I met up with a friend from high school in the last stream, and it was an incredible feeling. It felt great. And of course, it triggered a bunch of memories of better times, of times where I was happier, of times where I was stable, of times where I was experiencing monumental success. And to an extent, I wish I could relive those moments. But I'm just grateful that I had those moments and to be able to reconnect with one of my friends from those good times who I shared those great memories with. It meant a great deal to me. I've been keeping a journal since 2016, so over 10 years now. And that friend meetup I had, I wrote about it in my journal because it is a significant moment. I believe nothing in this world happens by accident. That's a sincerely held belief that I have. I believe that everybody has a purpose in this world, that we all stand to make a difference in the lives of ourselves and in the lives of others. What we do with our skills and the characteristic traits that make us unique and define us is ultimately up to us. what we do with our time is ultimately up to us. Well, it looks like we had someone else join in, but they are gone now. Okay, well, to whoever's here, I appreciate you sticking by here so I'm not just talking to avoid. Appreciate you. Yeah, reconnecting with someone that you were close to, it's an amazing feeling. I can't recommend it enough. I understand it's not possible for everybody, but if it is something within your reach, consider it. I do think it's something to, at the very least, consider. Think about the positive impact it could have on your mental health, to realize that not only are you not alone, but there's someone else out there who greatly cares about you. And oh, it looks like we got a commenter in here. Jenny Kabissa, I hope I'm pronouncing that second part right. I started a journal recently because of a recent video you made. You gave me the idea, so thank you. You're welcome, Jenny. That's awesome. You started a journal. It's something that I feel like a lot of people could benefit from doing. There's so many positives to doing it. For me, one of the coolest things is that you can zero in on any particular day from your past, and you could see like exactly what your mindset was that day. And this goes well for situations where you're doing well and where you're not doing well, because it allows you to put things in perspective. At least that's how I feel. That's the approach that I take. Reading my journal, past entries of successes I've had, it invigorates me. It inspires me to keep going. It motivates me to try to get that next big win in life. Reading about the times I was sad, it helps me put in perspective and evaluate just how sad am I now. And it serves as a reminder that even though I was sad in this moment, just a few pages later, I had a positive experience in life. And so it motivates me to keep going. But yeah, Jenny, I'm really proud to hear that. It's nice to know that I've had some sort of an impact on someone. Always love to hear that. I believe you're one of the first people, might be the first person who's told me that they've started a journal because of a video I made, though. So that's interesting. It's all right if you don't, but I'm just curious. Do you recall what video that was where that specifically inspired you to start a journal? In either case, good for you. My advice would just be to keep on doing it through the good and the bad, and it doesn't need to be consistent. I have not made daily journal entries since 2016 when I started my journal. Not even close. There's been times where I'll do a journal entry like every day for, I don't know, 10 to 15 days. And then there will be as many as 3 to 5 month period gaps where I don't write a journal entry at all. Now, I would like to be more consistent than that, but what I'm trying to drive home is like it doesn't really require you to be doing it on the daily. As cool as that would be, I wish I had the motivation for that. But the nature of my illness and bipolar disorder being a severe mood disorder, I'm not always going to have a consistent level of mind. And so it's a little bit more tedious and challenging to maintain like a daily journal. Jenny says the video was advice to those going back into education. Oh, okay. Glad to hear that. I feel like I could do a video specifically talking about why journaling is a positive. Maybe not sure what the title would be, but maybe just something like why you should journal or the benefits of journaling, something to that effect. Not sure how many clicks it would get, but hey, if I could influence another person into starting a journal, that'd be really cool. It's really cool that I've influenced one person to do so. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that a lot. Are you enjoying the process so far of journal entries? And I'm also curious, is it like for me, my journal entries are very spur of the moment. I don't have like a set time or a set day where I'm like, on this day at this time, I'm going to make a journal entry. For me, it's more, I just had an interesting experience. I'm going to document it. Or I'm at an all time low for a very long time and I'm going to make a journal entry about it just to document what I'm feeling. And it puts things in perspective for me. So for me, it's kind of more spur of the moment. I'm sure other people have a more uh, a more, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but have a process that is more geared towards being consistent and routine oriented in terms of scheduling and doing it on this day and so forth. Jenny says, "Is no one else here? I find it is a very spontaneous thing as well." Yeah, I agree. Jenny, for your first point, is no one else here? It does say there's three people in here, but one thing I've noticed with the live streams is there are some people who will kind of trickle in and out without really saying anything, and that's okay. Some people just like to tune in and listen, I suppose. I think the most like concurrent viewers I've had in a stream at any one time was around like 7 to 10 people, and out of those 7 to 10, there were still only like 2 people actually typing in chats. But hey, I appreciate anyone who tunes in, and whether it's a second long or 10 hours long. I'm not going to be streaming for 10 hours, but you get my point. Yeah. I'm sure other people will trickle in as the stream goes on. I've never tried this before, so I didn't know how it works. Are you referring to the live streaming or the journaling? To address your other point you made in the comment before that, though, I find it's a very spontaneous thing. That's interesting. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. I can't imagine like designating a specific time. Like, what if I'm not in the mood for it? What if nothing really notable happened? Like, what am I going to write about? I guess I could get a writing prompt, but that's just not my style of doing journaling. I just like to have my thoughts spew out in like a spiel of nonsense. No, not nonsense, but I'm not like turning in a paper that I'm going to submit. So it doesn't have to be polished. It's just what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. That's what it means for me. And it says live streaming. Okay, so that's what you're referring. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. Um, to be honest, I'm still not entirely sure how it works. Whenever I click a button, I get nervous that I'll like end the stream or something of that nature. And my OCD wants things to be as perfect as possible. And so I do my best. I did learn a few streams ago how to use the share screen feature. So I think I had a stream where I reacted to videos I filmed while manic. I reacted to a bunch of videos that I have privated on my channel, as well as videos that I have published and open to view for anyone. And I used the share screen feature for that, and it worked. And there weren't any errors or anything, no technical glitches. The stream didn't suddenly end, and people said they were able to see my screen. So that was pretty cool. So it allows me to kind of try out different things, or if there's ever a video someone wants me to like react to live or something, I guess I could try out experience like that. There's really no limit on what can be done with it, where you can go with it. I find the live streams to be a lot more authentic, being able to interact with people in real time. I feel like authenticity is kind of limited when it comes to any type of screen communication or technological communication. It's not the same as in person, at least for me. But when it comes to live stream versus video versus YouTube shorts, like live stream is the runaway best medium for authenticity, is in my opinion. Behind me, I have like 5 headsets on my wall. There's 2 up there, and then there's 3 below. And none of them work. I don't know why I keep them. The one that I have plugged into my controller works, but I always buy like these cheap $20 to $30 headsets, and they never last long. But I don't like throwing them away for some reason. I hoard my headsets. I keep them for gaming, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, hoarding. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Jenny says, I find that if I journal in the moment of thinking and feeling a certain way, it can be useful to see the progression of my mood. And sorry, nerves new. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, I agree. I concur. That is exactly my line of thinking with it. When you're in that moment, it's easier to capture what just happened. So when I had my meetup with my friend from high school who I haven't seen in years, I'm talking since like 2018. This was just a few nights ago. I got to catch up with him. He called me at like 10:30 at night. He said, I'm in town, but I got to fly back out to where I live at 3 a.m. So I figured you want to meet up. And I said, yeah, absolutely. and we just spoke for 30 minutes in the parking lot of where probably a little sketchy to people observing from their homes, but hey, whatever. Not everything's going to look normal. But yeah, I wanted to document it while I was feeling what I was feeling. Because if I had even waited another night and like gone to bed and then made my journal entry, I will have like forgotten some of what we talked about, forgotten how exactly I was feeling, the significance of it. So I, to the best of my ability, I try to make my journal entries as experiences are happening or when there's a degree of recency to when they happened. I have had moments where I had a really interesting experience. I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like journaling right now. And then I'll try to come back to it like a week later and it's like, I already forgot what happened. I don't even know what transpired anymore. Like, I can't do that. I don't want to just make up fiction in my journal. I want it to document real things and I want it to accurately reflect how I felt in the moment. Jenny says, did you see improvement with your bipolar symptoms as you tracked the entries after treatment? It's an interesting question. I have, all right, so I've never been consistent, as I mentioned, with my journal entries. I will say I was more consistent before my diagnosis. With that being said, I do look back on journal entries that I made, like during mania, for instance. There were three of them, I think. Yeah, about three of them. And I have a video on that where it's titled Reacting to Journal Entries I Made While Manic, something like that. And it does provide me a lot of insight to look back and see, wow, I was so disoriented. I was totally out of character. I didn't have my sanity while I was writing this. And then comparing it to where I was in a present moment, like super depressed. Not right now, but referring to like when I was actually analyzing these, very depressed. I was able to kind of put things in a little bit of context and understand that like, wow, things could be a lot worse right now. At least, even though I'm depressed, I still have control of my mind in the sense I know what's real, I know what's not, I know distortions from reality, I know fiction from reality. So it did help a little bit with putting things in perspective. I haven't done a journal reread in a while. I do occasionally go back and I'll go to journal entries from a particular period of time and I'll read them page by page, entry by entry, as if I'm like reliving this chapter of my life. And it is a very fascinating experience, I gotta say. It's quite an endorphin inducing activity or even dopamine inducing activity. It feels good to relive great moments. It feels good to know that you've been in a dark place before and have been able to recover from it. So I guess the short answer to your question is yes, because it's allowed me to gain insight, put things into context, and kind of think about the big picture. Really think about the big picture thinking. And it gets me thinking along different avenues as well. So, like when I think about the big picture, it gets me thinking along the lines of, well, there's lots of people out there who have my condition who still experience like monumental success. There's people who are at the peak of their careers, whether it's in medicine, law, what have you, and they're able to achieve a great deal of success despite their illness. They're able to still start a family and be successful in all the different ways you can be successful. And those kind of stories inspire me. So I think the big picture thinking is probably the most important component of it in terms of alleviating the stress of the symptoms that I was experiencing. The symptoms I was experiencing, sort of, the one that jumps out right away at me every time is racing thoughts. So many of them when I first came out of mania. I was thinking constantly about things I had said and done while living in a fraternity house, things I had said and done to lose jobs, and how I neglected to pay assiduous attention to my school activities, how I neglected my responsibilities. And yeah, it's definitely an intriguing area to look at, I feel like, to look back and just because as hard as it was, I still can't fathom that I was having racing thoughts on the scale that I was. I would lay down in bed and just be flooded with these negative thoughts, this negative self talk, mentally beating myself up and sabotaging myself over things that were beyond my control. Like, I did not wake up one day and choose to believe that, you know what, I'm related to John F. Kennedy and I believe that government agents are after me, or I'm a messiah sent by the creator of the universe to expose corruption. And like, these were products of the illness that I was experiencing. They're not things that I just wanted to, you know, suddenly of the spur of the moment. You know what? I had this realization. I'm the son of God. Like, no, it wasn't anything like that. But the racing thoughts always, how I word this right. I don't know if I want to say amuse me, but it does spark my curiosity, that time period of my life. And a big source of the racing thoughts, in addition to just reflecting on the memories, was actually my old iPhone. Because while manic, I had sent out text messages to a large number of people, mostly members of my fraternity. And I would send these like essay long texts. And not everybody, most people these days in general, I would argue, have kind of shortened attention spans. And nobody wants to read an 8 paragraph essay in a text message, but I would send nonstop text messages. And I was looking through them and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I said this. This is awful. Or I can't believe I said that. How did I ever come to believe this? How can I embarrass myself like that? So that was another big source of the racing thoughts, in addition to just reflecting on the memories of it. For anybody in here, appreciate you being here. Since we got 2 people in here, Jenny says, I found your channel when just looking for New Year advice, and your channel came up. Then found out about bipolar disorder mania. Oh, okay, interesting. So most people who find my channel, I love asking this question, so I'm glad you just answered it without me even asking. Is how did you find the channel? Like, what video was it that drew you in? What video did the algorithm show you? I haven't had someone say yet that it was one of my New Year advice videos, so that's fascinating. Usually, a big source of traffic to the channel was from the series I did reacting to videos I filmed while manic, and that I've had a lot of people tell me that's what showed them, got the algorithm to show them my channel. But yeah, I can see the traffic coming from all kinds of places, just because, like, I can picture it, just because my channel has gone through quite an evolution over the years. It started off kind of, I don't like the phrase dumping ground, but that's an accurate representation of what my channel was. It was a dumping ground for memories. In a way, it was my video journal. So if you look back at like my earliest of YouTube videos, they make no sense. It's like, who is this channel geared towards? And the truth is, it was geared towards me. It was an audience of one. I wanted to document memories from high school and document memories from college. And so that was the start of my YouTube channel. And it changed when I started doing a bunch of reaction videos in the aftermath of my mania, which was a part of my recovery. I reacted to a bunch of George Carlin videos. I think I have like 60 of them on my channel, and they would be recommended by viewers. And that was bringing in a pretty big audience, a lot of traffic to the channel. And I did it as a coping mechanism mainly, but people enjoyed those reaction videos so much, I just kept on doing them even when I felt better. And I think if you compare my outlook and my presentation in those reaction videos to where I am at my videos today, a lot of people will observe the significant recovery that I've made and the contrast compared to where I was. Jenny says that was 2024, I think. Okay. Yep, I have done New Year's advice videos for a few years in a row now. So, yeah, 2024 was a great year for the channel, January of 2024 specifically. So I started my channel in March of 2020, And from then to January 2024, like January 1st of 2024, my channel had like 200 subscribers, which I was very proud of and grateful for. And then that month, for some reason, the algorithm just like pushed out my videos like out of nowhere. And I was on an upload streak where I was uploading like 20 days in a row, daily uploads. And I had like every video I uploaded that month hit 1,000 or more views. And I was getting so many comments, I couldn't even keep up with responding to them all. And then I took a prolonged break from YouTube. I started slowing down my upload schedule, and I guess the algorithm just started to promote me a little bit less. And since then, it's been a slow climb back up to the level of traffic I was experiencing then. Yeah, I don't think I'll replicate that 2024 year anytime soon just because of that. I haven't exactly discovered why those videos in particular were doing so much better than the ones I've done since. And since this is a very niche topic, like bipolar disorder, I mean, it affects in different studies anywhere from 1 to 4% of the population of the world. So it's a very limited audience. And I'm also appealing to people who interact with those with bipolar. So family members of those who have the condition, because it affects not just the people with it, but also the people around them, or it can. Uh, Jenny says, I thought it would help the parents of family member, but it turns out they are schizoaffective. But there are similarities between bipolar mania and schizoaffective psychosis. So, interesting thing. I actually had a diagnosis of schizoaffective many years ago. So, when I was in high school, I had what was called a 504 learning plan, which gave me some light accommodations in order to make the experience of school a little bit easier for me. Now, I didn't know what schizoaffective was at the time, so I never thought anything of it. It wasn't until years later, after I got my bipolar diagnosis and was cleaning out papers in my drawer, I found a copy of my old 504 plan, and listed on it were my diagnoses, and it was like depression, schizoaffective. And I'm like, what is schizoaffective? And so I looked it up, and yeah, there's a lot of correlation between that. I believe so. That and bipolar disorder mania. Schizoaffective, the way my psychiatrist explained it to me, is it's essentially when you have both bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which having any of those conditions on their own is, I don't have schizophrenia, but I can't imagine how awful it is. I know how awful bipolar disorder is. Having both, my golly, like all the power to the people who are able to persist with that. I don't know if I would have the strength to be able to deal with a double whammy of such severely detrimental mental illnesses. But yeah, I'm sure there is a lot of overlap. Another thing, one of my former psychiatrists told me, because I showed her the paper that said I had schizoaffective, and she disagreed with it and then gave her assessment as to why she thinks I have bipolar and not schizoaffective. And her reasoning was people with bipolar only experience delusions and hallucinations when they're in a mood episode of whether it be mania or like a severe depressive episode. People with schizophrenia and schizoaffective, they can experience like psychosis, psychotic symptoms, whether they're in a mood episode or not. So they could even experience it when they're considered like stable, which I find to be a little bit confusing, to be honest. But that's the way that she explained that to me. And when she explained it to me that way, I agreed with her and I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, the only time I've really had that was when I was in these extreme conditions. So maybe it was a misdiagnosis on the part of my psychiatrist from way back in the day. Another thing that kind of stands out about that diagnosis to me is I was put on Zoloft when I was in high school, and it was a very effective drug for me. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, it was very effective for me. It alleviated my social anxiety. It bolstered my confidence. I felt a lot more confident in things that I pursued. I walked around with my head held high. Felt like I had less of a burden on my shoulders, no matter how much I took on. Like senior year, I started off with 5 advanced placement courses, and I did all kinds of extracurriculars. I don't think I would have been able to get through it without Zoloft. And I remember back then, and I'm better with this now. I remember how I was without SSRIs and compared to how I was with SSRI. Without SSRI, I would be so anxious. I would feel like I'm about to collapse out of my desk. I couldn't. You have any memories of like when you're in school and the teacher calls on you to read, and I would get so nervous. I would read like 3 words and I would just be completely out of breath, and my heart rate's like bum 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 bum. And it was in those moments I felt like I was going to fall out of my desk, and some very embarrassing memories as a result of that. It's awful. Not so much laughing like oh haha funny, but like I can't believe that happened. Like I, it's just kind of shocking to me. But then on SSRIs, I became class president. I got straight A pluses. I had no problem reading out loud. I adored and loved doing presentations. That was my favorite part of school, still is. Like I'll take a presentation over a test or a quiz any day. Not that I can't do well on quizzes or tests. I do well on them, but I just enjoy the thrill of public speaking so much. It's a passion of mine. It's been my passion since I was a little kid growing up. I would watch the C-SPAN channels, these little channels talking about, or with the politicians and lawyers arguing with each other and committees. And I found that stuff interesting, more so than I do today. So, because as I got older, I realized there's other avenues for public speaking and to practice it. Yeah, with SSRIs, I kept very busy in high school, whereas without it, I socially isolated and became heavily withdrawn. Of course, my medical team is kind of opposed to me going on SSRIs today, just because there is that degree of risk of inducing mania. I'm not sure if all SSRIs have it or what, but I have had my medical team tell me that it does present a risk of going into mania again, and I don't want that risk. So I'm happy with the 3 medications that I'm currently on: Wellbutrin, lamotrigine, and Vraylar. I think the combination of these has been very effective for me. It's the perfect medication cocktail for me. What works great for one necessarily won't work great for everybody else. We're all so unique, so, and our bodies and genes are also unique. Thank you for anybody tuning in. Appreciate you being here. This is kind of just a free flow discussion. There is no topic, there is no script. Absolutely anything can be put on the table. I'm a mental health content creator primarily, where I talk about my experiences battling mental illness, specifically bipolar disorder. I've recently returned to college, so I've been making content centered around that as well. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in chat. If there's anything on your mind, feel free to put it down in chat. I'll respond to absolutely anything. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, one thing I didn't know when I wasn't diagnosed with bipolar is how many awareness days and awareness months there actually are. Like there are quite a few, but they're not effectively advertised, in my opinion. They're not effectively promoted. Not a lot of people are familiar with these days, like World Bipolar Day, which I believe is March 30th of every year. September is Suicide Prevention Month. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month because men have like a 4 times higher risk, disproportionately higher risk of committing than women do. Not that, I mean, it's an issue with everybody, doesn't really matter, but just to like kind of highlight and pinpoint a little bit of the disparity, I think is always a good thing. Honestly, I am quite ill mentally, but not sure what is going on with me, and your videos have helped me personally. I don't think I have bipolar, but your advice is applicable, in my opinion, to all. Okay. Oh, that means thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel like it sounds like you're very proactive to me just based off your first kind of the first part of that comment alone. What it indicates to me is that not that you're ambiguous, but you're kind of considering that there may be something wrong and you feel like there is something wrong. I've absolutely been there, and it means a lot that you feel like my videos have helped you in some capacity. And I have had other people tell me that they don't have bipolar and they found the videos helpful too. So it's pretty cool to know that I'm focused on this very niche illness, but my experiences have a reach beyond just people with bipolar. I mean, one of the major parts of bipolar is depression. And while I won't go as far as to say as everybody meets the criteria for being diagnosed with depression, of course, that's not true. It actually bothers me when people will dismissively say like, "Oh, everybody has depression. Some people just deal with it better." Like, or everybody has a little bit of bipolar. Like these stigmas and stereotypes about conditions. Not a fan. Oh, we got another comment in here. Electron Aaron. Hey Tyler, it's Aaron. Hey Aaron, what's going on, man? Happy to have you here. We're kind of just chatting about everything and anything. I started the stream up for a very specific reason, and that was to is I finally got some grades back in my college class. I mentioned in my last stream how I was like anxiously awaiting getting grades, and no grades had been submitted yet, and or maybe it was my last video or stream, or maybe both. I don't know. But I finally got some grades back, and in my accelerated summer course, I currently have a 98% average across the first 4 weeks worth of assignments. So that was a very pleasant sight. It felt good to see that my academic rust isn't as significant as I thought it would be. Well, I hope you're doing good, Aaron. Thank you for stopping in. It's great to see you. It's been a while since we've talked. We'll have to catch up. Jenny says, damn amazing. Thank you. I'd say so myself as well. Specifically, I got 3 assignments where I got 100 on. One assignment I got a 96 on, and then another assignment I got a 93 on, which averages out to 97.8%. So I just rounded up to 98 for my satisfaction. Yeah. I'm not sure what the cutoff is to get an A, but I think at UMass Amherst it was like a 93 or something like that. Anything lower would be considered like A minus. So as long as I'm above 93, I'm feeling pretty good. But it wouldn't be the end of the world if I got an A minus in one of my classes either. I'm not going to beat myself up over that. But yeah, it feels good to have an A. I took all the spring semester off. I only took 2 courses in the fall of 2025. And before that, I was out of school for 4 years. So it feels good to see that the rust isn't as bad as I had anticipated. The decay in my abilities is not as significant as I had anticipated. And it just feels like I'm on a positive track. I will say the second half of summer is going to be quite a challenge because I'm taking 2 accelerated courses for the second half of summer. And those 2 specific courses, they're both taught by the same professor and they're known to be very writing intensive. I'm not talking like, oh, submit a 2-page essay. I'm talking like 20-page essays for these classes. And if I'm even given, let's say, 3 20-page essays per class, that's 120 pages worth of writing over the course of a 6 or 7 week semester. It's a lot. You got to do all the research, all the pre-writing, all the brainstorming, all the structuring, organizing an outline, and then writing a draft, and then editing your draft, polishing and submitting a final draft. It's a lot of work, but I love writing. So I think it could potentially work out really well. Maybe not. We'll see. This course that I'm taking now, I kind of signed up for just one for this first half of summer to ease my way back in to doing academics, to allow me to not overburden myself. I've got the hiccups. I felt it coming, but there was like a delay. That was awkward. Yeah, I'm just building up momentum. So one class for the first half of summer, two classes in the second half of summer. And then in the fall, I will be doing four classes, two of which will be online, two of which will be in person. I have my fall schedule set up in a pretty interesting way, or a way that I think will be very helpful to me. And that is, I only have to be on campus for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, in addition to having the weekend, Saturday, Sunday off, I'll also have Monday, Wednesday, Friday off. But I guess it depends on how you interpret off, because even when I'm off, I'll still be doing schoolwork. I'll just be working on my online assignments. But I actually really love online courses, the flexibility that they offer. I've never had an issue with staying motivated, being self motivated when it comes to academics, this online classes. I had my first bout with them during the COVID lockdown semester and the semester after it. So, a semester and a half worth of online classes, and I did really well in those. So I like being able to do work from the comfort of my own home on my own time, uh, not having to go through the monotony of being in an exact place at an exact time, multiple days of the week for 14 weeks. So I'm definitely going to be incorporating online courses throughout the rest of my college experience just to help mitigate the burden a little bit so it's not as overwhelming as it potentially could be. For anybody still here, appreciate you being here. It looks like we currently have two people in here. It doesn't let me see who's in here, but it does say like that I have someone in here. Jenny says, I'm going to hang back now and listen. You are a really good talker, but I hope someone else can join. Hey, Jenny, I appreciate you stopping by and for being engaged. I appreciate anyone who comes by regardless, but it is always awesome when someone stops in and leaves a comment. And you made a bunch and it's helped me keep me going. So that means a lot. And you do what you need to do. That's totally okay. Just appreciate you being here. And I'm glad you found my videos helpful. You've said a lot of positive things here. And I hope for your personal struggles and any endeavors that you're going through that things get better and just know that things will improve. Time is a really big healer, time in itself. And I know it's kind of cliche, but I really do believe that it helps me put things in greater context and think about the big picture, just time alone. But I digress. I appreciate you being here, Jenny. Thank you. What are we at on the timer? Oh, 48 minutes and 8 seconds. Cool. Yeah, my last stream was only 30 something minutes. I ended short because I had a phone call I needed to make, or so I thought. I attempted to make a phone call, and the person I wanted to call did not answer. So I technically could have just remained on stream, but I don't know that I wasn't going to get an answer. I might try again tomorrow night, but for tonight, I'd rather just stream and see how long I can keep going here. One thing I've kind of been heavily ambivalent about is my recent decision to put a pause on my weight loss journey. The reason I put a pause in the first place is because I simply wasn't getting any significant or meaningful results. And I was upset with weighing myself on the scale and getting back a number that didn't reflect the level of what I perceived as hard work that I was putting in. And I still wanted to exercise, and I still do and still am, because there's so many mental health benefits that come from exercising. So instead, I just changed my outlook. Instead of exercising for the purpose of losing weight, exercising for the purpose of getting the mental health benefits. And if I lose weight in the process, that's an added bonus. That way, I'm not perceiving my exercise routine as a failure when I don't lose weight, because I know that I still have that positive, that big positive of getting mental health benefits. So I think just having that outlook should be helpful to me. On the other hand, I am morbidly obese. And when people reach morbid obesity, the statistical probability of them returning to a normal healthy body weight is astronomically low. The odds are heavily against you when you reach morbid obesity. It's like 1 in 1,290 men who become morbidly obese will someday return to a normal healthy body weight. I intend and hope that I'll be one of those one out of every 1,290, but whether that's the case, I don't know. And it certainly doesn't help that I'm taking a pause on my weight loss journey. Bottom line is that my kitchen game has not been great. I'm still going to keep exercising, as I mentioned, just because of the mental health benefits, the plethora of positives that I have from a consistent exercise routine. But at the end of the day, any weight that I lose going forward is going to come from what I do or don't do in the kitchen. Cat Lily says hi. Oh, hey, Cat Lily. Nice to have you here. Been kind of talking about anything and everything for this last almost hour. I did finally get grades back for my course, Cat Lily, the class that I'm taking in the summer. You might be able to, I don't know if you could see the chats that were made before you came in here. I'm still learning about how this live stuff works and what happens and what doesn't. But Jenny mentioned how I got a 98% average in my college class so far across the first 4 weeks of grades. And it's just a couple weeks left. And then my next 2 summer classes will be starting after this one concludes. I think I'll get like a week off intermission between this class and my next 2, which I'm going to take advantage of every single bit just because these next 2 classes I'm taking are heavily writing intensive. And as much as I enjoy writing, 20-page essays is quite time consuming. And with the nature of my illness, bipolar and mood episodes, I'm going to need to really be on my A game, literally, if I want to get A's. Yes, you can see the prior comments. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was something that like people just coming in could see or not. Kind of just gives an idea of what we were talking about and how the conversation has evolved over the hour. Yeah, we've had 3 different people jump into the comments so far now. That's pretty cool. And we've had quite a few people trickle in and out as well. I am going to check something in my YouTube studio real quick, but I'll keep talking as I do so. I uploaded a video of my cat earlier. I'm just curious how many views it has. Oh, wow. Okay. This is what I mean. My cat is so much more popular than me. I'm okay with that, though. He's a great cat. I uploaded a video of my cat relaxing in his new box an hour and 15 minutes ago, and it has 1,100 views. It's the best performing YouTube short of my last 10 shorts altogether for the first hour, 15 minutes. That's pretty good. And it's gained 4 subscribers. So I'm 6 subscribers away from 1,300. I didn't expect to be saying that today. So that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, it's at 1,115. Just a simple cat video of my cat relaxing in a box. And it just blows up. Never ceases to amaze me. Cats are one of the most popular topics. Yeah, absolutely. And yet I'm still amazed at how well my 19-year-old cat, I have a very small channel compared to like the bigger channels, but people love cats. I don't blame them. I do too. So like dogs too. My TikTok feed is like, I get so many cat videos and dog videos, and it's because I engage with them all. I heart them all. So I'll never complain after watching a cat or dog video. I'm kind of impressed with how well I don't want to jinx anything, but my cat's doing decently well of course he does have some health issues because he's 19 and That's considered like ultra senior for a cat. I'm not sure what the exact age cutoff is or category it is, but I do know that it's like the highest one. And I have 1.5. Are you saying they're 1.5 year old, Lily? I'm not sure what you mean by 1.5 cats. Yeah, Smokey's great. I've had him since I think the summer before fifth grade, which was an eternity ago. I need to drink some water. It is so humid here. It's been brutal. I have been thinking about alternate career paths if law school for some reason doesn't work out. And the main reason that I think it might not work out is really just finances. The Department of Education, not to get overly political here, I'm not trying to do that, but they have made some changes quite recently that affect the student loan caps. That's so the amount a student can take out is significantly less now than it was prior to these new caps being put in place. So in the event that I apply to law schools, get accepted, but financially just can't afford them because I'm not given enough student loans, I've considered going for a master's in education with specifically focusing on history and trying out being a history teacher. So, I mean, I'm passionate about history. I enjoy helping others learn about my mental illness on this channel. And so I feel like it could be translated, a transferable skill to teach history. And it's such an important field to teach. And it's highly competitive, though. But a master's in education is significantly more affordable than a Juris Doctor degree. Going to law school is the tuition alone is like 100 grand a year. And so, in the event I can't afford it, that's the other route that I'll be taking. Kelly says, "No, my friend and I adopted two brothers. She has one, and I have the other. But I watch them both during the week, and she watches them during the week." Oh, okay. So you kind of trade them off. So your kitty's got two homes. Gotcha. Do they get along well? I imagine they must, but that was always one of my fears with getting an additional cat while I have my current one is what if they don't get along? Like I'd feel terrible for my cat, my first cat, if I keep the new one because it doesn't get along with them. But I'd also feel terrible returning a cat that I just gave a home. Like you'd be a good history. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. One wouldn't really know it from my channel, but I am actually quite well versed in history. It's a passion of mine. I have a advanced placement history textbook that I purchased just to read casually for fun. I take notes from it sometimes too, just because I like to stay refreshed on things. But yeah, when I was in high school, I took advanced placement U.S. history, advanced placement world history, and I got the highest possible score you could get on both of them, which is a 5. Extremely well qualified for college credit. And those got me a lot of credits. I think the AP US history was worth 8 credits because it counts as two 4 credit courses. And the AP World was also like 8 credits, I believe. So I got 16 credits from just 2 history classes in high school. That's why we got brothers. They are more likely to get along. Oh, okay. Are you saying they're more likely to get along than like sisters would? Or if they were like part of a different litter? I could definitely see how siblings would be more likely when it comes to cats. Definitely not for humans. Siblings for humans definitely don't are now more likely, but I could see that being the case for cats though. They've been with each other from the very beginning. What breed are your cats, if you don't mind me asking? I feel like mine's a pretty obvious. Mine's a short hair, domestic short hair. But good job to Smokey. He is killing it. And just a few minutes ago, I mentioned how it was at 1,115. Now it's at 1,255. Smokey is doing amazing out here. Always love it when my kitty does well. Smokey's such a good cat. I mean, I don't got much comparison because I've only had him. I've only had one cat, but all the doubts I had about whether or not having a cat would be the right decision have long been gone. I love having my Smokey. Uh, all cat relatives often get along better. Oh, okay. So that's good to know for the future. If I do decide to, I mean, I'm not going to anytime soon because I mean, Smokey is my first priority right now. But uh, I hate saying this, but after him, because I mean, all pets unfortunately are going to someday pass. But uh, I am definitely considering like getting a couple. So probably two. I don't know if I'd be able to handle three, but I feel like two would be a good balance, I guess. Then they could keep each other company while I'm gone. And but even with having my one cat, I've never liked being out of the house for too long. So I don't like my cat being alone. I've don't remember what the exact numbers are, but I've read articles before that talk about how cats perceive time differently than humans, and time moves a lot slower for them. So even though we might be gone for a few hours or something, it can feel like much longer than that for our cats. I'm not even sure how I would look that up to get exactly what like the numbers are, but it's really interesting how they perceive time differently, and it helps me put in perspective. Like I don't want to go down to families for a week and leave my cat alone. I mean, if my mom here is here, then fine, but if neither of us are here, then absolutely not. Not leaving my Smokey alone. Smokey is doing well, being age 19. Yeah, I would say so. I think he's doing pretty good. He likes the simplest things. The one big concern I have about him, I haven't talked about it in videos or anything, but he used to love playing, and maybe it's just part of being 19. I don't know, but he will not play at all. Like we used to have the wand with like the feathers on it, and he would go absolutely ballistic chasing it. I could throw catnip in the middle of my living room floor, and he wouldn't even bat an eye at it. He doesn't care. He just wants to sleep, eat, cuddle, relax, whatever. Look at the sun out the window, look at the squirrels out the window. But he doesn't want to play anymore. I used to throw a ball and he would chase it and run after it. And then I'd walk to the other end of the hall, pick up the ball, throw it to the other end, and he'd run and chase after it. And I could do that like 20 times. And I would be out of breath before he is. And now he won't even do any of that. So that's probably my big concern with him, which I guess isn't the worst concern to have. Maybe he's just mature and not doesn't really have those playful instincts anymore that younger cats might have a lot more of. Our brother cats just turned one on May 25th, 2025. Oh, okay. Nice. Are they still considered kittens when they're that young? I'm gonna look it up. I want to see what the. I'm just curious what the cutoff is for kittens. For a cat to be considered a kitten. When does no wait. At what age does a cat stop being a kitten? Oh, at 12 months old. Or, I don't know, I'm seeing different things. Some people say 18 to 24 months physically. Hmm. Oh, wow. The bigger breeds, so Maine Coons, can take up to 2 years to finish growing into their full size. Hmm. Cat Lily says they don't like to play as much when they are older. They often have arthritis. Yeah, I think he might have that too. And the reason I say that is so he used to love like hopping up on, and I know some people think this is gross, but yes, I let my cat go on the dining room table because nobody in my house eats at the dining room table. Well, he used to go on the table all the time, but he doesn't go up there anymore. So, and I think it's because it hurts him when he jumps down. It's probably hard for him to reach. But when I've seen him try to hop on things that are like too high, and I've seen him sadly lose his grip and fall sometimes. So, yeah, that's another concern that I have. 1 year, my vet said, as far as feeding them. Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, I would trust what your vet said more than what I just read on Google because what I was reading on Google was Reddit, and I'm not sure. And everybody on Reddit seems to have a different answer. So all I know is that mine is definitely not considered a kitten anymore for a lot of reasons. Another behavioral change he's had is whenever we would open the door to our apartment, he would sprint like, I don't know, like the fastest runner in the world, maybe like Sonic the Hedgehog fast. He would sprint for the door and he would get in the hallway, and it would be so aggravating because then we'd have to try to catch him to pick him up to bring him back in. My cat is strictly indoors. Just the lifespan of an indoor cat is just so much longer. The outside has so many risks for cats, and it's just not a risk I'm willing to take. I've had family members lose cats due to being hit by vehicles, and or cats go missing and never come home. So it's not something I want to experience. I would be devastated if my cat went in a way like that. We recently changed their food to adult cats. Oh, okay. Would you say either of them are like picky when it comes to food? Mine can be, I feel like, a little bit too picky. He likes anything chicken, but then there's like specific brands he'll eat and then specific brands he won't. And what I was surprised of the other day is I bought a package of puree. He loves puree, and I thought it was a big size box of just the chicken, but it was also salmon flavor packets in there. Gave him the salmon packets, and he actually really loved them. So I was surprised. He usually hates fish. Cat takes after me when it comes to fish, but he actually enjoyed the puree. Ours are indoors, but we are thinking about putting them on harnesses. At least that would be really cool. I've seen TikTokers do that. It's definitely possible. People who actually walk their cats outside and let them explore the world a little bit. That must be really cool for them. Some cats even enjoy car rides, which surprised me. Yeah, I've seen quite a few videos of people taking their cats out on leashes, harnesses, and maybe if I had like my own house and a fenced in backyard that I knew he couldn't get out of, then I would, in that case, let my cat outside. But, or if I had a leash, but not in my neighborhood, anyways. I don't live in the best neighborhood. Ugh. One is more picky. My friend's is. Mine is bigger and likes eating almost everything. That's cool. Even though they're brothers, they still got their own. T. Condor says, "Don't forget, cats can climb fences and trees as well." Oh, yes, they can. I've seen my fair share of stories of cats climbing trees and then not wanting to climb down, being stuck up there. People have to get ladders to go and get them. So yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I shouldn't, unless I have them on a leash. In that case, okay. But welcome, T. Condor. Delighted to have you here. Talking about anything and everything, really. I guess the title refers more generally just to the recovery process I've had over the last few years from mental illness, returning to college after being gone for years due to medical leave. And yeah, my summer class is going really good. Got a 98% average. And I got two more summer classes starting in the second half of summer. So altogether, if I pass all my classes this summer, I'll be 9 credits closer to my degree. Cat Lily says, "My friend and I both live in apartments too, but on a leash is safer." Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, now that I think of it, my cat's entire world has pretty much been my apartment. I mean, my mom and I switched from a 2 bedroom in a different building to the 2 bedroom in this current building, but it's the same exact structure as the previous apartment. So he's kind of known the same. I mean, I guess the window views are different. So he said that different views of the world. He loves being at the windows and looking out. Congratulations on a 98. Thank you. Appreciate it. I was so anxious awaiting grades to be inputted and to finally get the results back and see that I am in fact doing well in the course. It's awesome. I'm going to try something real quick. I hope it doesn't end the stream. Just want to check my email. Okay. Let me quit out of that now. I probably check my email a million times a day. Cat Lily, just curious, are you familiar with the content creator on here? Jackson Galaxy. He makes videos about cats. You must know him. I'm sure you've seen his content before. He's like the expert on cats. He knows everything. I haven't watched his content in a while though, so I'm curious where he's at right now. Oh wow, he is 2,500,000 subscribers. He's been on YouTube for a while. Yeah, I used to watch Jackson Galaxy. Yeah, I mean, he's been around for so long. I've been watching him for years, kind of on and off. I don't like binge watch his content or anything, but occasionally I'll see a title that catches my interest and click it. I think he used to have a TV show too. I'm not sure. I do remember a show with a cat expert who was also a musician. And when he was helping out problem cats, he would show up to the home with a guitar case full of his equipment to help out the cat. And it was like, oh, God. I don't know if that was him. Have a TV show. Oh yeah, former host of the television show My Cat from Hell, which went from 2012 to 2020. Okay, yeah, so he did in fact have a new show. Is he still making new videos? I don't know. Let me see. I was just on his channel. I'll check again though. I was just checking what his subscribers were at and what his oldest videos were, because I was curious how long he's been doing it. He has an upload from a month ago, and then 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 7 months ago. So not as consistent as he used to be, but yeah, he's still posting. Oh, this would probably be an interesting one. Jackson asks a vet questions you're too embarrassed to ask, and it's him in person to speaking to a vet. How many cats is too many? See, like those are the types of videos I like to watch. How many cats is too many? Do I even like dogs and more? Ask me anything. That's from a year ago. Oh, I see a video of him playing guitar. If a musician was a cat lover. So I knew I remembered the guitar case thing from something, and I'm guessing it's connected to him. He was on TV. He does bring a guitar case full. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I'm not the only one remembering that. I don't want anyone thinking that I was crazy and was just making that up. Because it's kind of funny things that you don't expect to go together, like a musician who also happens to just know everything about cats. Like, cool, cool. But hey, those are two great hobbies to have, in my opinion. Two cats max for me. Yeah, that would probably be my upper limit too. Maybe it would depend also on like how many people are living with me and whether like the size of the actual apartment or house too. But I feel like two is definitely the upper limit for me. At least like where I'm living now in my current situation. There's people who have an absurd number of cats, and I just don't know how they do it. As awesome as cats are, like I'm talking about these people who have like 10 plus cats. Like I appreciate what you're doing and getting them homes. There's lots of cats out there that don't have homes, but I mean, for your own personal health, how do you manage to do? Maybe for them, it's just worth it, and the pros offset all the cons. Looking at the data for this stream that's going on right now, looks like 63% of people tuning in are tuning in on mobile phone, and then the rest are tuning in, the other 37% tuning in on computer. I do a mix of both when I watch live streams, so I thought they would be a little bit more evenly distributed, but I guess phones does make more sense. People being on phones over. Anybody tuning in, appreciate you being here. My name is Tyler Adolfo. I am primarily a mental health content creator, but I have content about a diverse range of topics if you want to check out my channel. I think my featured video is me rapping at a talent show. If you want to check that out, that's approaching 1,000 views. I'd appreciate you. I'm gonna check it right now. Actually, I'm not sure what my featured video is anymore. Actually, I can't even tell. Hmm. Cat Lily says, my boyfriend worked for these rich people who had 12 cats. Oh my. Their house was beautiful but reeked of cat urine. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, 12. Yeah, and cat urine is a very strong smell. It's not something you want to neglect to clean, that's for sure. Oh, Jenny. Hi, back. Hi, Jenny. Welcome back. Just realized I made an error. Eva, she's memory. Actually, it might not have been that video that gave me the idea for journaling, and it might have been an earlier video. Oh, that's all right. No worries. Yeah, I think I've talked about journaling in quite a few videos, probably my New Year advice videos as well. And I know you mentioned that that was like one of the first videos you've seen. So it could have been in one of my New Year's resolutions or advice videos, something like that. But welcome. It's good to have you back. So far in about an hour and a half, we've had four different people comment in chat so far. That's probably the record I actually have. So hey, if I could beat the record and get a fifth person to comment on here, that'd be amazing. So if anybody's out there, let me check the analytics for this. Uh, oh, here we go. There's been 42 chat messages so far. Peak viewers has been 4 for this stream. And the computer versus mobile phone breakdown is pretty much the same 37% computer, 63% phone. Jenny says, also now, unsure if it was you. Sorry, confused now. If it was not you, then you still confirmed it was a good idea. Oh, no need to be embarrassed. You're fine. No worries. We're humans, not saints, as I used to say. I haven't said that in years, but it just came to mind. So that's one thing I actually haven't talked about in my videos before, but one significant thing that happened during my manic episode, I definitely haven't mentioned this actually. I had my backpack stolen, which had my laptop, my phone charger in it. And as for who stole it, I'm not going to get into that. But when it got stolen, I remember typing up a really manic post on my university Facebook page. It was like the UMass class of 2023, had thousands of members on the page. So students who were graduating the same year that I was supposed to. And I write up this lengthy post talking about my missing backpack, and it actually received a lot of support. And it was like one of the most liked posts in the group, even though I was manic, which I guess just goes to show how, yeah, there was a charisma element to it at a certain stage. But as the semester progressed, losing my backpack was a huge loss. I would get it back eventually, and I'm not going to get into who took it or how I ended up getting it back, but yeah, that was quite something. Smokey the Cat is still doing pretty good. He's at 1,400. Wow. For anybody tuning in, appreciate you being here. Yeah, I did end up getting it back, Cat Lily. Both the backpack and the computer. Thank God. And then later on, anyways, the computer would. I talked about how I got into that fight that got me expelled, and I had my belongings in this person's car and outside of his car. And when the police came, they put all my belongings back into his car as if it were his property. And I was too manic to know any better to say, hey, that stuff's mine. Like, don't put that in there. So my luggage bag, which had my computer among many other things, they put back into his car. And yeah, gave all my property. And I found out later on through a mutual friend said that, oh, so and so is selling all your stuff online. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I can't be bothered with this right now. And so yeah, I eventually did end up losing that computer anyways. And that was a nice computer. Very unfortunate situation. What's going on in the world of Reddit? I do check this pretty often too. Oh, it is so humid. I actually can't. It's so unbearable. I can't wait to go in my living room where there's an AC, a couple of fans. That sucks. Yep. I grew up in the desert and still live in the desert. I'm not used to humidity at all. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I'm from New England and I am totally used to it. It is not. Ugh, it's just like when it's really bad, I feel like you're gonna pass out. But I did come with enough water. I might have to refill at some point, depending on how long I go. But anybody tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I started the stream to talk about my ultimate comeback, but everything is on the table. Nothing is off limits. So if you have any questions, put them down in the chat and I will answer to the best of my ability. I will do everything within my power to deliver you an answer. Or if there's something you want to discuss, any topics, do not hesitate to bring them up. Anybody and everybody is welcome here. Catley says, if I go on vacation somewhere humid, I don't like it. Yeah, it's not an enjoyable experience by any means. Oh, and Jenny also says, I am from UK and humidity is really high. Yeah, it's. I'm glad I'm not the only one here who's. Well, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not the only one suffering, but it's good to know that I'm not the only one who hates humidity. Smokey is really old. That he is amazing. He is so old. Yeah, I know. He's for his age. He's in quite good health. He's already above what average life expectancy is for both indoors and outdoor cats. So I would say my mom and I have done a fairly good job of giving him the love and support he needs to be as strong and healthy cat as he possibly can be. I hope we can have him for many more years. There was that one cat who lived to like 30 something. What was that? Uh, what was the longest living cat? Cream Puff, yes. I was trying to think of the name. Born on August 3rd, 1967, in August, Texas, she lived an astonishing 38 years in 3 days before passing away on August 6, 2005. Her age was verified by the Guinness World Records. Wow. Um, Owned by Jake Perry. Oh, Jake Perry also had a cat that reached the age of 34. So this Jake Perry guy must have known what he was doing. Perry credited their extreme longevity to an unconventional diet that included bacon, eggs, broccoli, coffee with heavy cream. I don't think I'm trying that on my cat anytime soon, but hey, if it worked for him, wow. And even an occasional eyedropper of red wine. Red wine. You gotta be kidding me. I'm just amazed reading this. Cream Puff's lifespan is roughly 2.5 times longer than the average domestic cat's lifespan and is roughly equivalent to a human living to, wait for it, 175 years old. Wow. Got another comment in here. Let me make sure I said this right. I'm going to try my best. Pit Labrati. Hello, Tyler. I've been following you since you started making bipolar content, which is around the same time I went through a severe manic episode. Glad you're doing well and growing in life. Thank you, Pitla Brady. I hope I'm saying that right, but I appreciate you following the channel. It means a lot. And to know that I was able to be a voice to make you feel a little less alienated, less alone during your time of adversity, it means a lot to me to hear. And I appreciate you also extending that kindness to me and expressing happiness that I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well and better. I'm doing pretty good. And if you've been watching me for a while, you probably know that that was not always the case. So it feels good to be where I'm at compared to where I was. I got to say that. But yeah, I appreciate your comment. Appreciate you stopping in. I don't, I started the stream kind of just to make an announcement, and but to like referring to college. College is going pretty well. I have a 98% in a class that I'm taking right now for summer. It's an accelerated summer class. I got two more summer classes starting in the second half of summer. So I'm just trying to finish summer strong, build some momentum before I return this coming fall. And so far, things have been on a pretty positive trajectory. Got a lot going on. It does feel a lot different being in college at 28 than, well, when I was younger. I don't feel like I have as much energy as I used to, so I got to prioritize and allocate my time a lot more effectively. But I've managed to do it so far. I think fall will be the true test, though, because I'll once again be taking a full time course load. And whether or not I'm able to navigate the stressors that will naturally arise is yet to be determined. But I'm on a stronger medication cocktail than I was last fall. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's you've been following for quite a while, Peter Brody. If since you started making bipolar content, and that was quite a few years ago, yeah. But I appreciate you sticking around and being such a loyal viewer and kind of growing with me over the years. I'm sure in your own way. We're all growing together. Where we're growing to is unknown, but Jenny says, live in Canada now, born in UK, and will be moving back to UK. Save the birds, mice, and keep the cats safe. Okay, so you live in Canada. Okay. I used to play video games with a bunch of people from the UK. I wasn't like in the UK, but I'm talking like 2008, 2009. I used to play with a lot of Call of Duty players who were from different European countries, and a lot of them were from the UK, and had some good friends back then. All online friends, but still friends, I'd argue. And yeah, it was good times. I'd like to visit there someday. There's a lot of places I'd like to explore and visit. Cat Lily says, I found you through the bipolar content as well. Okay. Yeah, I think that's where probably most people found me. I think January 2024 was a turning point for the channel. That's where most of the traffic to my channel came from, because I started this channel in 2020. On January 1st, 2024, I had about 200 subscribers. So in 4 years of having a channel, I had 200 subs. And then in that 1 month of January, I gained like 600 subscribers. And it was from bipolar disorder videos. For some reason, at that point in time, the algorithm was just disseminating my content to large segments of viewers, and my phone was getting flooded with comment notifications. I had to turn my notifications off. But hey, it's a good problem to have. I miss when I was getting a lot of people in back then, but I'm still happy with the niche community that I've been able to build, and it's only going to keep going up from here. Whether or not I replicate that 2024 January again is, I would say, pretty doubtful, but I'm enjoying the process and just doing the best I can to try to make as positive of an impact as I can with the time that I have. Kelly says there was not a lot of bipolar content back then. Yeah, in general, I would say there's not too much bipolar disorder content. So I can see how people searching bipolar disorder would come across my channel. I mean, I do have 106 videos in my playlist, Bipolar Breakdown. And the earliest of which goes back to, let me see. I wonder what my first video about bipolar was. Like when it was uploaded. I'm going to check. No, I am not watching an ad. Sorry. Okay, so my first one was uploaded April 2nd, 2023. And that video was titled, I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder 522 days ago, my life since. So I've come a long way since that video. My next video was on April 9th, 2023. So wow, I didn't realize it went as far back as 2023. That's pretty impressive. Kelly says, well, there's still not even now. Yeah, I've tried to like discover other channels, and there are a few that I watch. I think we talked about it before too, Cat Lily, of other like bipolar content creators. There really aren't that many people sharing their individual experiences with this condition. So when I do come across someone who does, I almost immediately subscribe just because I want to hear and also offer my support of what they're going through. Yeah, my second ever one in the bipolar breakdown playlist was What Does Mania Feel Like? My first manic episode with bipolar disorder. I look so disgruntled in this. I'm going to screen share this so you guys can see this. This is absurd. Okay, so I don't know if this appears on your screen yet. But look at the glasses I'm wearing, how disgruntled my beard and hair is. Oh my, that's how you knew I wasn't doing well. I mean, I'm still not, I mean, I'm doing better today than I was then, that's for sure. Doing better today than I was then. That's all I gotta say. So I'm not sure if this appears on your screens or not, but this was my second ever video in the bipolar breakdown playlist. Yeah, my first few videos for bipolar did really well. Like this one got 607 views. What did my third one do? 260. And This was bipolar breakdown, manic episode that got me hospitalized for 5 days. And then this, I'm not sure if this shows up on. Let me check. I think, where did 2024 start? Oh, this is it right here. I had a video called Hilarious Things I Did While Manic. And this is where my channel really started to pick up steam. This got 1,822 views January 1st, 2024. And then for like the next 15 to 20 days, I uploaded every single day. Toughest parts about having bipolar, 10 coping mechanisms for bipolar, lived in a frat house while manic. I lost all my friends due to bipolar, early signs of my bipolar, rebuilding after mania, loneliness, semester full of psychosis, which I have privated now, but because I wanted to redo it. I didn't like the way I kind of explained some things. Reacting to crazy emails I sent while manic. But this semester full of psychosis got a pretty good, yeah, 2,500 views on that one. That was January 12th of 2024. But yeah, that was the peak period of my channel, I would say. Cat Lily says, "You look far out to use hippie slang." Yeah, I suppose so. I would say so. I just didn't have the slightest of care as to what I looked like. I was so ashamed and embarrassed about everything that happened still, to where it didn't even cross my mind like, hey, I'm putting this on the internet where presumably people will see this forever and I want to look good for the camera. Well, that didn't occur to me. Instead, I'm wearing like these James Bond like glasses. And Jenny asked, were the sunglasses to look anonymous? Nope. So I've always had the channel name just as my name, Tyler Adolfo. I never really sought anonymity. I don't mind being open about my experiences. I will say though, before I made my first video about bipolar, I was highly ambivalent about whether or not it was the right decision to make content about it for a lot of reasons. And one of the main ones was just the kind of selfish reason of, well, would this be good for me? Would it be good for my mental health if I put my story out there? How are people going to react to this? Are they going to be negative and bring me down? Are they going to be positive and uplift me? It wasn't quite clear back then what actually would happen, and I didn't really have a set established set of expectations. So there was a lot of thought going into it whether or not it was the right decision. But no, it wasn't to look anonymous. I was always open about who I was, and maybe I was trying to look cool. I don't know. I think I do take the glasses off. I don't wear them for like the whole video. I just use it as like an intro, and then I've done that with some of my reaction videos in my George Carlin playlist too, where I'll start off wearing the glasses and then I'll slowly take them off in the intro. Just, I don't know, a little weird thing that I did. One of my idiosyncrasies. We got 5 viewers in here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them at me. I'll answer to the best of my ability. We are talking about anything and everything. I've talked a little bit about my comeback as it relates to mental illness and returning to college. Doing really well right now, mentally and in college, thriving. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. the breakdown for viewer by device type is still the same, or roughly the same. So 66% of people who've tuned in so far were watching from a phone, 34% watching from a computer. I always like looking at the breakdown, just seeing what mediums people are using to access the content. Anybody tuning in, welcome. Appreciate you being here. I will say, despite everything going on right now, one thing that's been lingering on my mind for a while is this desire to have a big win. I've been craving a big win. And what I mean by big win is not like my current college grade where I have a 98% average. A big win, like winning a speech contest. I've won many in my life. Or like in high school when I won first place in the state for DECA for business finance, went to international career development conference, like a big win. Like a big win would be like being on dean's list for a semester and or getting a 4.0 for a semester. So I'm just so I just get so much lingering on my mind as it pertains to that, and it's something that I haven't experienced for a long time, really, since being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It's something that has been elusive to me, having a big win. And I guess it's just the nature of the illness to a large extent. Jenny says, I would want to look anonymous if I did videos, probably if I showed myself, but that is just me. Yeah, it's definitely something I contemplated, Jenny. I didn't make the decision overnight to put my name and face out there, especially when it came to making the mental health content. And this was a recurring battle I had, this battle of whether or not I should put myself out here and be so open because of the potential backlash that could happen, because of being perceived in a negative way or people taking what I say out of context. But the positives have so far outweighed the negatives disproportionately, and I couldn't be happier with where things are and where they're going. But it is something that was reoccurring. So for example, even when I make videos about specific topics of bipolar, there's certain areas where I'll be like, should I talk about that? And one example was my videos about reacting to videos I filmed while manic. Because when I was manic with bipolar, I filmed and uploaded a lot of videos. And one day this thought occurred to me, what if I react to these videos that I filmed? And that's exactly what I did. And they were positively perceived. They were perceived as like educational, informative, insightful. And that was my intended impact. Cat Lily says, yeah, I thought of trying to make a YouTube channel, but I realized that I don't like being on camera. I think that's probably one of the deterrents for most people. There are a lot of faceless channels out there, and there's one I found for bipolar too. I can't remember the name of it, where he makes kind of like educational content, but he doesn't show his face or anything, which is fine. It does help you connect more with viewers if you do that. But I would say definitely keep that thought around. Never say no, but like no outright. I mean, without thinking on it. I would definitely make like a list, whether it's mental or an actual list in front of you, but of the pros and potential cons that would come from doing so, because there's both. There's a lot of things about my channel that I'm really grateful to have. I have more than half 1,000 videos, which is just insane to say if you combine my videos, my shorts, and my lives. And that's since March of 2020. I never expected I would have this much content on here. Originally, my sole goal was for this just to be a video journal where I collected memories. I didn't think I would be having the positive impact I am today on some, as far as mental health awareness, educating and informing people about stigmas surrounding mental illness, helping people feel less alone in their own battles. I'm proud of all those things. And so there's positives for it. One of the big negatives, and I'm sure I think you'll agree. I don't want to say with certainty, but I think Jenny and Kat, you'll both agree here, is people in real life discovering my YouTube channel. This was a huge one for me. I was thinking in terms of like, well, what if someone I went to school with finds my channel? And that has actually happened. I've had people I've gone to school with find my channel. and say, hey, this is so and so from college, or this is so and so from high school, whatever. I've had that happen. So people I know in real life have discovered my channel, and I've had to grapple with how I feel about that. And ultimately, I felt like the positives outweigh the negatives, and those who I know IRL have had a positive perception of what I'm doing on here as well. So that certainly helped alleviate some of the concern. But looking back on everything, I'm glad I made the decision to make one. I think it was personally the right decision for me. One thing I do have to consider though is when looking at law school or looking at even a master's in education, is a lot of this content I'm probably going to have to remove. And that's because there is a lot of taboo surrounding mental illness. And if I'm going into the profession of law, if I'm going to law school, there's a very real possibility that admissions committees will see my YouTube channel if they search up my name. And I mean, if you search my name on Google, my videos do pop up on there, which amazes me. And there's a possibility that future employers will come across these. And if I get a master's in education, if I take that route instead, there's a possibility that schools I apply to will see these videos and they might see it as unprofessional or unbecoming for a teacher to talk about mental illness like that. Or I don't know, there's just things, or students might find these videos and uh, have a negative perception of me because of that. So whether it's the legal profession, the education profession, I think that there's a lot of risk in leaving this content up. I'll always have some videos on my channel, but I have come to terms with the fact that if I'm going to law school or if I'm getting a master's, that I am going to have to remove a lot of, if not all, of my mental health content. And I know that's probably not what a lot of people who watch my channel would want to hear, but unless I take a new path in life and go in a totally different direction, a lot can change in a few years. And there's no certainty. A whole lot can change. But that is a line of thinking I've kind of been going down. All right. Cat Lulu says, you could leave them up until it is too risky. Yeah, that's kind of what I intend to do. And I'll never completely delete them. So, for example, YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, you have the option of privating your videos or uh, unlisting them. I, the difference is eluding me, but one of them is the only way people can view your videos is if you give them the link to it. If you private it, only you can see it. I think that's the difference, but I'm not too sure. So it's not like I'll be deleting the videos and never have access to them again. I might have a situation where I'm applying to law schools. It's too risky to leave them up, so I private them all. And then maybe 5 years down the road, I'm burnt out from the legal field or have another manic episode, and I then unprivate them and then come out with my law experience and speak about my experiences working in the legal field with people. You never know where this is going to. I know that's a horrible thing to say, like, oh, what if my career burns out? And then I could just talk about that. That's a very real possibility. I will be right back, y'all. I'm going to be a few minutes because I am going to make a hot chocolate. I need another drink here. My soda's gone, and so I'm going to refill that as well. I will be right back, y'all. If there's any topics on your mind, feel free to put them down, and I'll respond as soon as I'm back. And I need to wipe the sweat on my face because this is brutal. This humidity is killing me. All right, everybody. Thank you to anyone who stuck around for that. I'm sorry that I had to grab a drink, but it's humid out here and I was drenched in sweat, sort of, so I had to decompress a little bit. But I got myself a hot chocolate, small cup of soda, and still got the same amount of water, but it should be enough to last for the rest of the stream. I think this is by far the most chatters we've had in stream so far. Let me see, we'll say somewhere on here. Um, oh, yeah, there's been 61 chat messages so far. Way more than my typical stream will get. So I appreciate the engagement, appreciate everybody who's tuned in, whether it be for a second or the whole thing. It means a lot. So thank you. Jenny says, I wish I could have hot chocolate. I can't because I have dairy sensitivity. Sorry to hear that, Jenny. That's all right. I mean, I drink it every now and then. Like, but the box of like hot chocolate packets that I have right now, I've probably had up there for months, and it's only like 8 packets, so it's not something I drink like religiously. It's not even hot anymore. It's like a warm chocolate now. Anybody got any fun plans for the weekend? I'm personally just waiting for my school assignments to be uploaded. Cat Lily says, if you go to a health food store, they might have dairy-free chocolate. It might be pricey though. Yeah, that could be an option. There's definitely options out there. I will say I kind of get priced out of the healthier things in life. I just don't quite get the finances to get everything healthy that I want. But if you can, and then it's definitely an option to consider. A lot happened last year for me. I got to be honest. I left a job that I was at for a reasonable amount of time. I was a shift leader there. I was a manager in January of 2025. I ended up applying to schools, got into one near me, accepted, and took on a full course semester, but only lasted a month and a half. Had a mixed acute episode. So I had to withdraw from most of my courses. I only finished with 2 of them, which I did get credits for, so I'm content with that. But it was quite an eventful year, gotta say. 2026 hasn't been as eventful yet, just because I took spring semester off. My weight loss progress slowed significantly. I'm on a pause on my weight loss altogether right now. No, I just realized something. I told you all how I recently caught up with a friend from high school. Well, I actually have a video on my channel of my friend and I, that same friend that I just recently met and spoke to for 30 minutes, just randomly at night after not seeing him for 8 years. I have a video from high school where the two of us were filming a video for journalism. It was called Totem Pole TV. And we just report on the announcements of school. And you could see the total difference in our personalities. I approached it with the purpose of trying to be funny and sarcastic. He was more serious, but the two of us juxtaposed made it a very polished piece. And uh, I think I want to show y'all this. I'm not sure if you've seen this video on my channel, but it's from 2018, and I uploaded it to the channel April 6, 2020. Has 727 views. Oh, before I go there though, Kelly says I might go dancing with my boy. Oh, okay. Hey, I'll say this: dancing is a phenomenal workout, and it is very fun, even though I am not good at it. That's one thing I enjoyed when I was living in the frat house and when I had my sanity. I loved dominating the dance floor. Absolutely loved it. I would be drenched in sweat, even more so than I am right now from the humidity. So let me pull up this here. I'm going to give it a few minutes just to make sure that y'all can actually access and see it. All right, so this is how I got kicked out of journalism class. And it's a video of me reacting to the journalism broadcast that myself and my friend Alejandro had filmed. Alejandro is the friend that I recently caught up with. He's doing really well for himself. I'm very proud of him. What's going on, everyone? Start this from the beginning, if it lets me. All right. Going on, everyone? This is Tyler here. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day. Today, I'll be uploading a reaction video to an old journalism broadcast from high school. In my junior year, I was a member of the journalism club, and the editor at the time happened to be my best friend, Alejandro. And he had this idea of starting totem pole television, which would be a way to broadcast the announcements and send them out to the entire school. And he asked me to co-anchor the first broadcast with him. And so, of course, I said yes. I really loved it. It was an amazing opportunity. But the reason I'm reacting today is because I want to show you why this was the first and last time I ever appeared on Totem Pole TV. Even though most of the school really liked it, the students and teachers I spoke to enjoyed it. Not everyone exactly took kindly, specifically a member of the administration. And so I want to get your opinion down below. Let me know in the comments what you think of the video. If you think that I took things too far. Overall, though, I hope you enjoy it, and let's get right into the video. All right, here we go. This is taking a step back to 2018.
Adolfo, Alejandro Espino. You know what we're here for, right? Totem Pole Television.
It's an awkward hit.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Welcome to Totem Pole Television. With me, Alejandro Espino, my friend here, Tyler Michael DeFreitas Cleveland Adolfo III. Delighted to be with you here. Now, to all seniors, get your class dues paid. You need to pay your dues to take part in any senior activities whatsoever. That includes prom, the senior class trip, and the banquet. You may see Ms. Nassas or any class officer to pay your dues. Big facts. Everything he said is facts. The Health Fair Blood Bank is looking for volunteers at their annual event held.
In case you haven't noticed, this is funny too. There's literally the teleprompter words are showing up in the back. It's
Gymnasium
Everyone
Fair
pointed that
Blood
out.
Bank is looking for volunteers at their annual event held in the gymnasium on Saturday, April 28th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's like 2.5 hours, but double. Variety of work is available. If interested, go hit up the guidance office. You got this. Now, speak around the corner. This year's theme, Enchanted Garden, will be held in newly renovated Indian Range. Tickets are only $65 and will go on sale after April vacation. Come and enjoy this night and make a valuable high school memory.
And just to be clear, when he said around the corner, which flabbergasted me as much as it did you, he didn't mean around the corner as in right around there, but as in it is close. I just wanted to make that clear.
It's an important
Just a
clarification.
reminder that the
Nobody knew that.
Scholarship is due this Friday, April 13th at 2 p.m. This scholarship is for seniors with at least a 3.0 GPA who will be attending a four-year college and majoring in math or natural sciences. This scholarship is worth up to $10,000 a year for all four-year college.
He loved that cameo.
The application is extensive.
He wanted to know if we were
please
doing
do
it
not
again,
leave it
too.
until the last minute. Procrastination Nation, you got to start early. Students, you have to print out the financial aid package that you've received from the college that you would like to attend. If you are interested in receiving this generous scholarship, if you have any questions, please see Mrs. Stowborough in guidance.
Now, attention to all seniors. A form has been submitted via class emails in regards to the song choices we played.
This part is absolutely absurd. And this part, more than any other part, is what got someone in the administration upset. If anybody's commenting right now, I can't see it, but I'll check after the video to react to anything you might say. But
Prom. If you have a request, you want to hear your favorite songs played at prom, please fill out the form online by this Friday so that DJ Ben can upload this trip. What do you think about that, Tyler?
I think it's great. I love granola bars. Are you a sophomore who is interested in making a difference in your school? I'm rooting. Would you be interested in an all-expenses-paid literature conference in club setting for 3 days in June? If so, please see Mrs. Stowborough guidance for more information. Back to you.
I mean, I could be a sophomore if I tried. Mr. Adolfo just walked out of the room, has officially reinstated High Five Friday. So be sure to visit him in the hallway and give him a big high five to show your support.
Studies have shown that people who do High Five Friday get better grades.
so true.
At Empty Bowls Night, over $3,000 is raised for the Webster Dudley Food Share. And congratulations goes out to the members who have been included in the 2018 Super Team. The Super Team banquet will be held on May 1st, 4 p.m.
Their congratulations goes out to Show Choir for their enormous wins in Waltham. Fun fact, this was the best season we had in 15 years.
That sounds really great coming up in Bartlett. Any other things in the news today, Tyler?
No, well, nothing in particular, although, you know what? We did just finish a broadcast, so something to check off on my list.
I used to use those all the
And
time.
you know what? I will give you the honor.
Look at that. That's a check, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
We'll see you next time soon.
Totem Pole Television.
And there would not be a next time because I was not allowed back on the broadcast after that. And then at the end of this reaction video, I give some final thoughts. I think I do. Okay, so just a couple closing thoughts here. Number one being the granola bar. If you wanted an example of unprofessionalism, and I guess part of the reason why I did that is just I didn't really care. I mean, not like that, but I didn't care what people thought of me. I wasn't trying to become a journalist. I didn't care about like maintaining a professional demeanor. It's just boring to me. Like I want to be myself and just be who I am, express myself in my own way. And if that involves eating a granola bar, if I'm hungry in the middle of a broadcast, then I'm going to do that. And a lot of people laugh from it as well, so I can't really complain. Another thing, though, is it also kind of makes it obvious why that was my last ever broadcast for Totem Pole TV. The administration, at least some members of it, I don't want to say all because there were some who actually really enjoyed it, but there were some who felt that it looked like it was unprofessional and that it made my high school look bad. And going forward, I wasn't allowed back on Totem Pole TV as a result. I actually could have gone back on, but I would have had to drop being myself. I would have to put on this like fake demeanor as I go forward, and I would have to talk like this. And in other news, iced coffee tastes really good. Back to you. And I don't want to do that. I just want to be myself. So it was an enjoyable experience. It didn't bother me that I wasn't allowed back on. I could understand where the school was coming from. I just also didn't want to change who I am as well. So there's that. Lastly, a lot of people actually pointed out the teleprompter words on the wall, and I guess some of them were doing it to rag on me, and some of them, most of them though, understood that it was a joke. Like, yes, all news anchors read from a teleprompter. What makes it funnier though is that we're more upfront about it. We were deliberate. We could have put up a cover in the background to block the teleprompter words, but we thought it would be funnier if we just left them in. And so that's how that ended up happening. Anyways, though, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. All right, so that was the video, how I got kicked out of journalism. Brings back so many memories. I wasn't allowed back on the broadcast after that. Not sure what you thought of that, or if you've already seen that video before, but I thought it was pretty funny. It's a video that I enjoy looking back on here and there. Kylie says, "We won't be dominating the dance floor, but dancing is still fun, even if you aren't the best." Absolutely. When I said that I was dominating, I didn't want to imply that I'm being like I'm really good at it, but I dance with the spirit as if I'm really good at it. I act like it. I put on that persona. But you're right. It's fun regardless. Jenny says, "Kicked out for being an organism that eats." That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, that's pretty much true. So they did not like the part about me eating the granola bar during the broadcast. They said it looked unprofessional. It didn't match the newsroom decorum. Made the school look bad. But it is what it is. The students loved it. My classmates loved it. My teachers loved it. Many of the faculty loved it. It was just an administration official who didn't like it. So, but multiple teachers were asking, like, "Oh, I want to be on the next one. This is so funny. You guys killed it." And my argument for why I acted that way is when people do the morning announcements and they read off a script the morning announcements in a monotone voice. "Oh, the soccer team won 3-1 yesterday. Congratulations." And like, people tune out the announcements. They don't pay attention. I got people to pay attention to the announcements. And that's another thing. I also did the voice announcements. So outside of journalism class, there was a period of time where I was doing the announcements. I would go and give the announcements, and I would always incorporate humor. And the secretary in the office hated it. Everybody else thought it was hilarious. I would like put some passion into it. So I just gave the example of the soccer win. "Oh, the soccer team won 3-1. Congratulations." I'll be like, "The boys soccer team went absolutely beast mode against Uxbridge the other day and eviscerated their opponents in a 3-1 dominating fashion. Impeccable job." Like I would do it totally different. And they did not like that either. So I wasn't allowed to do the voice announcements eventually as well. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that I could take a look at. That would be interesting. Not really seeing anything that would be good for this particular stream. Glad that it made you laugh, though, Jenny. I'm glad someone out there can see the comedy and my good intentions in the way I carried myself. Ugh. Wow, stream is at 73 chat messages so far. That's by far the most any stream's ever gotten. So thank you so much for all the engagement, everybody. Cat Lily says, that seems silly to get rid of you if you got more people to listen. Yeah, I feel like that's a more rational outlook to have, and it's one that this administration official did not have. And this was like the highest ranking administration official that you can be in a school district. So, without going into the exact title, I'm sure you can guess what that title was, but they did not like it. And I argue that a lot, actually, Cat Lily. I would always say, hey, I got people to listen to the announcements. I got people to pay attention to the announcements. They actually knew what the announcements were. So when the soccer team won the game, they actually got their credit for it, and people knew about it. When people got selected the super team, they knew about it because of the way that I mentioned it and the emphasis I used. But you can't please everybody. That just goes to show how you really can't win over everybody, no matter how effective something is. And that's another thing is when I was in school, I really enjoyed like sarcasm styled presentation, and trying to make people laugh through cringe. And so like eating a granola bar is pretty cringe. Uh, you got this. It's pretty cringe. Or the moment where I say, when he said around the corner, which flabbergasted me as much as it did you, he did not mean as around the corner as in right over there, but as in it's coming up soon. Like as if that needed clarification or explanation. Like, come on, like just laugh a little bit. Just enjoy life a little. That's my argument, but you can't please everybody. I wish they would have seen it that way though, Cat Lily. I would have loved to do more of those episodes. And yes, if I did more of them, I would have absolutely put them on my YouTube channel for the memory. Because again, the original purpose of my YouTube channel is just to document memories from high school and college. So they definitely would have been up here. I mentioned this in like the opening minutes of the stream, but I haven't since. I did finally start reading another book. Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, dystopian novel, same kind of genre as authors like George Orwell in the book 1984 or Animal Farm. I've read this book before, but it's been a long time. This is only my second time reading it. The last time I read it was probably in early high school. Jenny says, imagine if we spoke in a monotone voice like they do on the news normally to turn that around. No one questions that. Yeah, good point. That would be quite something. I can't stand the way newscasters talk, personally. I'm not a fan of the, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As someone who has a passion for public speaking, I feel like newscasters like are purposefully boring. And I'm not saying they have to be entertaining when reporting on a tragedy or something, but like to show some degree of emotion or something that indicates that they're human. Like, I feel like it just turns a lot of people off. This humidity is starting to kill me again. When I was out making my hot chocolate, I was in the living room and the cool air from the AC just felt amazing. Same, I always thought it was odd. Yeah, the way newscasters speak, it is. That would be hilarious if people just talked like that in normal conversation, as you mentioned. Yeah, I know, Kelly. They're mostly reporting on tragedies. So a good point. I mentioned that like I understand like if you're reporting on a tragedy or something, like you're not gonna be like jubilant or overjoyed, but I feel like with other stories that it's possible to display some more emotion into what you're saying or doing, and especially if it's something like sports news. And I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of room for improvement in the way that not just presentations on the news are done, but presentations in general. Sorry, I meant no disrespect. No need to say sorry. You're fine, Jenny. Cat Lily says, I think that it is good to be humorous when possible. Yeah, I agree. Wow, it's getting pretty dark. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:09. Okay, that would explain things. I didn't even realize I was have been streaming this long. 2 hours, 28 minutes, 43 seconds. Appreciate everyone who's been here. Jenny and Cat Lily, y'all been here for a while. Thank you. I am going to wrap things up, though. I don't want to spend the whole night doing this. I probably would if it weren't for the fact that it's so humid and it's getting really uncomfortable. I do enjoy talking to y'all, but I'd like to lay down on the couch with my cat, maybe watch some YouTube myself. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll find something. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching live or you're watching the playback or parts of the playback later on. It means a great deal. And just want to say love, light, and tranquility to all. Peace out, y'all.